Everybody's so worried right now about living payday to payday and being broke. If people might look into their sovereignty, they would find out that we all have minor estates that are worth millions and some worth billions from trusts that were set up by the big G in order for them to profit off of and use to make the governmental issues work. And once those investments are found and they're converted into a minor trust and you claim your minor trust, you're gonna find out you're worth millions, when this comes out.
Oh my god, you made a song just for TikTok?
Yeah, you can come and watch me drink my morning coffee.
American.
Hi, it's Karen from HR.
German.
Hello, it's Karen from HR.
Welsh.
Hello, it's Karen from HR.
Australian.
Hello, it's Karen from HR.
West Country.
Hello, it's Karen from HR.
Standard British.
Hi, it's Karen from HR.
New York.
Hey, it's Karen from HR.
Scouse.
All right, it's Karen from HR.
Devonshire.
Hello, it's Karen from HR.
Scottish.
Hello, it's Karen from HR.
British RP.
It's Karen from HR.
Cockney.
It's Karen from HR.
Southern American.
Good afternoon. It is Karen from HR.
So growing up on a Mormon polygamous compound, I did not get issued a social security number as a kid. I was lucky in that I did get a birth certificate because I was born in the hospital, but most of my other siblings didn't have either. And the reason we don't is kind of interesting and hilarious and made up. And it's because my family, in addition to being Mormon polygamous, also subscribed to something called the Sovereign Citizen Movement. Sovereign citizens are kind of the granddaddy of the QAnon movement and basically believe that the current US government is illegitimate. And so anything that government requires, like social security numbers, is also illegal and illegitimate. My family believed that if you had a social security number, that created a fake identity for yourself that allowed the fake US government to use you, like your actual human person, as collateral for its debts. Most specifically, its debts to China. So if you had a social security number, at any point, the Chinese government could come and collect you as...
Finally, I must address the white women in our audience who allegedly felt threatened by a constituent's statement. We know you're white because, ironically, this was called out by a person who says race doesn't matter. A constituent said metaphorically that elections have consequences and this board would be held accountable for its actions.
Please, give Director Art the courtesy to speak.
Thank you, President Mopacum. Some of you have made similar statements. I'm speaking to you, my fellow white women. Speaking of similarities, you have stood up in this boardroom numerous times in support of a speaker's comments. Yet, apparently you felt threatened when a group of men did it. Or was it really that they looked at you? I'm actually a little confused on those facts. It's not a very big room, and we can't help but look at each other in here. So I cannot help but note that the difference that evening was that the man speaking was black. That the men he came with were black. So to my fellow white women, whether you knew it or not, you played right into the stereotype of a white damsel in distress, a white woman who is afraid. All innocence and victimhood, the very subject of memes about women we now reference as Karens and Beckys. So my ask of you is to please learn from your privilege and the impact of white women's tears.
See, I've been spending the last 6 months booby trapping my entire 500 acres. I got you.
Good morning. Let me tell you about Ed and Elaine Brown. So they were, basically it's shaped up that they were some sovereign citizens. We have a lot here. It's terrible. I hate it. But so, Ed and Elaine Brown, they lived in Plainfield, New Hampshire. And they started getting spicy with their thoughts. They started saying things like, God is my only law book. I am a sovereign citizen. I am a body of the house of the Lord and all that. Like, they got a little spicy. But so they also knew that the government don't like that when they don't pay taxes. And so the problem here is that a lot of people with sovereign citizen minds think that they can do a magical thinking. They think that they can say some words, they can pull some phrase out of the Constitution, and magically it will make whatever bullshit stop. That's not how that works. And so in 2007, they really ramped it up, and a lot of free staters actually came to their defense, which it's fine. I get it. I hate taxes too, but this is New Hampshire, and they basically just didn't want to pay their local taxes to like the school and it's a very, very small town. Like, shut up. So basically then they spent months storing food and booby trapping their entire property. And so in about 2009, all said and done, they got hit for conspiracy to defraud the government and defraudment. Basically, you get it. They didn't pay taxes. They got caught. And so while all that was happening, New Hampshire seized their property, and eventually it took them years to clear out the property of all the booby traps. And they finally got to sell it, but they had to sell it with a big as-is claim saying, we cannot guarantee your safety. We do not know if we've cleared out all these booby traps. But, so that's Ed and Elaine Brown. Sovereign citizens, if you ever hear about them, they're generally dangerous. They're actually pretty high up on the terrorist list for good reasons. And like with the Free Staters and a lot of libertarians, they believe in a lot of white supremacist ideas like the Illuminati. That was big for Ed and Elaine. They thought George Bush and Mikhail Gorbachev and the Jews were gonna up the world. Like all these people, they don't understand what they're saying, or they fully understand what they're saying and they're terrible. But yeah, so those are the folk heads, Ed and Elaine Brown.
Barbara, open up! I haven't eaten in 30 minutes! I feel like Marilyn Monroe.
That's it, Pugsley. Go right to sleep. I watch over your bones, don't worry. I'm not clucking around. Chicks dig me, man.
Lessons in not crossing a gay man. I was at the airport yesterday with a friend of mine, and we were talking about it being Pride Month. And this bitch, standing across from me, very loudly says, you know what I wish? I wish that there was a straight Pride Month. I said, excuse me? And she said, you look dumb. I just said, okay, and picked up my phone and took a photo.
I was talking with my friend's friend who's a police officer, and he was telling me the most dangerous stops that he does, not gangsters, he lives in a rough area of Wisconsin, sovereign citizens. Sovereign citizens are these idiots who think that there's some kind of a cheat code that you can utter magic words and it's like a video game and you can just hack a police officer to not get in trouble. To picture a police officer stop somebody and they walk up to the driver's side and the person's just sitting with like a PlayStation controller and they're just like hitting a bunch of buttons. The cop's like, what are you doing? And the person's like, I'm entering the sovereign citizen cheat code. If I enter the right code, you can't get me in trouble. The cop's like in the middle of writing a ticket and then like, they just stop. They're like, I don't understand what's happening. And they start walking back to their car. The person's like, yeah, sovereign citizen cheat code. Sovereign citizens are idiots. Literally, it's not a thing. Who the thinks that there's a cheat code for cops? What do you do about it?
She talked about Karens, or white women are Karens and Beckys, and I had to look it up because I'm a little naive. So according to dictionary.com, a Karen came from Black Twitter in the 2010s. It's a middle-aged white woman, and she typically fits a stereotype of an aggressive, racist, minivan driving white mom. That's why I did not want a minivan. However, a Becky means a stereotyped, so-called basic bitch who is privileged, sheltered, generic, and unlikable white woman. Sorry, that's from the definition. I'm a middle-aged white woman, and I resent those remarks. I do not want to be white. Do not want to be middle-aged. I love being white because that's how God made me. I do not want to be middle-aged, but I'm stuck.
And smash! And smash! And smash! Karens, take a quick break. We have a special guest. This is... Oh, sorry, remind me of your name again? It's Karen. Right. Karen has been gone for a little while, but she's here with her new baby. Hi, everybody. This is baby Karen. Mama. Mama. Her first words. I think she's going to say mama. Mama. Manager. Oh.
My first task is to personally promote and personally brief our 2 new 4 Gold Stars and U.S. Peacekeeping Ambassadors on their new rank, title, and status, with new tasks and directives.
I hate to interrupt you, but what is the connection to city business?
I just think, point out if we can just.
May I complete, please?
Yes, please.
Go ahead, Mr. Key.
My first.
No, hold on, Mr. Key.
I was going to ask if he could just make the completion, if we can.
My first
I think the time is off.
The world in solidarity, cease of hostilities, and cease of ammunition firing. Also, I request a $1 billion endorsement by Mr. Putin in support of peace and his commitment to a noble solution through accountability and ensuring the proper assessment and treatment of all detainees, combatants, and non-combatants are above adequate.
I'm sorry. It's just not related to the city.
I have not
in
seen
any way.
Their names on this list.
I don't know
it is
what
noted
list you're...
and it has been confirmed by their parents and their family
Mr.
members.
Wilson. Yeah, Mr. Wilson.
City Council.
Mr.
And we do not have a brief on them.
Sir, your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Daniel Peters.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
Here's the thing. When you've looked at as many state IDs, driver's licenses, and passports as I have, sometimes you see some interesting things. One of those things usually follows a signature on a passport, and it will say ARR without prejudice, non-assumpt. Now, that's not really a recognized qualification, but what it means is that sure, I'm signing a US passport, but I'm also asserting that I am not a citizen of any country. I am my own sovereign citizen. That doesn't super work. It's basically like whatever government there is just letting you add extra scribbles to your IDs. It also doesn't work for bank documents. So good luck in the state of you, and I hope you follow all your own laws.
You just had the refresher, right? There you go. Let me get you a big straw, hold on.
Here.
What's that?
I didn't pay.
Oh no, it's free today.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, today's MILF Monday. See, it's free.
Yeah, here, take this.
It's for the holiday. It's just a new thing at Dunkin'.
Here, take it.
No, it's actually already paid for. I'm so serious.
Swear to God.
On jaw.
Okay.
But you get the $1 too.
That's okay.
Really?
Yeah, here, you take $1.
No.
Yeah.
You want to? All right, we'll trade. That's fair. Come on.
You want to trade $1?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good one. Enjoy the holiday.
Okay, heathens, you asked for more polygamous conspiracies? I've got you. Now, this particular one is not necessarily limited to just polygamists, but my family managed to grab on to one of the more crazy conspiracies from the sovereign citizen movement and then adopt it into their own worldview. I like to call this conspiracy the tale of two governments. Here's how it goes. The government that was established by our founding fathers was secretly replaced about 200 years ago. Nobody knew that this happened. Government leaders, corrupt on power, wanted to be able to do whatever they wanted and not be bound by the Constitution. So they created a corporation that looked exactly like the US government. It had a president, it had Congress, had all of the trappings of the United States government, but it wasn't the real one. And then they tricked everyone to elect the officers of the corporation instead of the real government. How dastardly. This allowed them to replace the common law with admiralty law, which means that we have actually been under martial law ever since then. When did this happen, you ask? It depends on who you talk to. Some people say it happened during the Civil War. Some people say it happened in 1933 when we switched off the gold standard. But whenever it happened, it did. So the current government in the United States Capitol right now is not the duly elected true government of the United States. It is the false corporation. But how do you tell the real government from the false? It's very simple. The real government will spell the name United States with a lowercase u, because it was a commonwealth of states, not a single federal government. So anytime you see the words United States and the U is capitalized, that's the fake one. For years, the real government lay dormant, waiting for some inspired patriotic citizens to take it up again and replace the fake corporation. And that all began happening just a couple of years ago. They began holding elections in all 50 states, first electing the legislatures of those states, and then those legislatures banded together to elect the congressmen and senators, and then those people got together and elected a president. So now we have a real president, finally at last, of the real U.S. government. His name, Tim Turner. Now, unfortunately, Tim is in jail due to tax evasion and fraud, but that's really just because the evil fake corporation government hates him. And definitely not because he did anything illegal. And all throughout America, we have the now duly elected real governments and legislatures and congressmen sitting, preparing to take over the government. I'm not exactly sure when or how or why, but they're going to do it very, very soon. You might be like, Ben, how do you know this? Well, it's because I have family members who have been elected to the real government by themselves and their friends. They want me to call them congressmen, but I just call them crazy.
I have been a member of a grassroots group called D49 Freedom Fighters for over a year now.
Is this a dream?
I'd like to start by reading the words of Jesus from Matthew 18:6. If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned into the depths of the sea.
It doesn't feel like a dream.
Totally a dream.
About polyamory. Defined, that means multiple sex partners simultaneously in other controversial sexual ideas. This is for 12 to 16-year-olds. I'm not talking to you.
I don't think this is...
I'm wearing a tutu.
And then with all the sex changes and all that stuff that I keep hearing, anybody touches my granddaughter, let me tell you, I identify as Grandma Bear. And I fly in an Apache helicopter, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Not making it up. Zapatero, ¿qué opina usted del gobierno de Zapatero? Pues igual que yo. ¿Y qué opina usted? ¿Qué opina usted? ¿Qué opina usted del gobierno canario? ¿Y de los ayuntamientos de la isla?
First and last names of 6 witches that are in our church. And you know what's strange? 3 of you are in this room right now. Three of you in the room right now. You better look in my eyeballs. We ain't afraid of you, you stinking witch. You devil-worshiping Satanist witch. We cast you out in the name of Jesus Christ. We break your spells. We break your curse. We got your first name. We got your last name. We even got an address for one of you. You so much as cough wrong, and I'll expose you in front of everybody in this tent, you stinking witch. You were sent to this church to destroy us. You were sent to this church to lure us in. You were sent to this church to cast spell. Listen, some of you been sick because you befriended that witch.
You know, after a long, stressful day, you know what I do? I drink my own pee. Actually, your urine contains more nutrients and minerals than any other substance. That's how you heal your body from yourself. Oh, God. Disgusting. It's gross.
You do that on purpose.